Hello. Welcome to this new video. Today we're going to go over 5 things you need to know about Wireshark for cybersecurity. And to be honest with you, that's more of a title than anything else. You should know Wireshark in and out if you want to be in cybersecurity, depending on what you're doing in cybersecurity. But here we go. I have a packet capture and let's start going through it. As you can see, I have all the packets that I capture in my network. I didn't create any capture filters and I don't have any display filters, meaning that I have everything in here. This could look overwhelming, but if you find any conversation that you would like to go deeper into, that you would like to analyze further more, you can come here to the packets and analyze the packets and see what took place in that during that period. Or you can right click on the packet, then you go to follow and then follow TCP stream. In this case, that was a TCP conversation that took place or a conversation that took place over TCP. And instead of going through each packet and trying to piece everything together, you have the option of doing this. And that's gonna, number one, it's gonna organize all the packets in, it's gonna create a display filter for you as you see here. And then it's gonna provide another view that may be easier for you to analyze and you can see that information in here. Obviously, depending on the packets and the traffic that you are trying to analyze, the information that you're going to see is going to be relevant to an extent, or maybe it's not going to be relevant. If the packets are encrypted, it's going to be complete gibberish. But here, this is SMB. You're going to be able to see and analyze some of the traffic that you see here. I was just sending copying files over SMB from my, let me bring that in here, from my Ubuntu computer, and I was copying files to a share folder that I'm running on Windows. And that's the information that it shows me right here. As you could see, to me, that's one of the great tools that you could use in cybersecurity to analyze traffic, or at least to give you an idea of what the traffic is like. Obviously, you have to go deeper into it once you see that information. Let's go to number two. And that's going to be, as you can see here, creating display filters. Something you have to keep in mind is that in Wireshark, you're going to have the option of creating capture filters, which is just filtering or capturing information on that specific filter. And you can also create display filters, which is that the display filters that you're going to utilize once you have all that information. As you could see here, there are, like, I'm not going to say endless combination, but close to endless combinations about display filters that you can create. But you can start by experimenting and using filters specific to what you're looking for. For instance, I have this server 192.168.170.55. If I want to see anything that was taking place to it, you could do IP destination, right? 192.168.755, and that's going to show all the packets on that specific filter. So I'm going to create it, hit enter, and that's going to show everything in here. You can also do instead of the destination, you can do source, and that's going to show you the source. That server was sending out, communicating out. That's going to give you a different perspective into what you're looking into, and you're going to be able to see things differently depending on what you're looking for. This is cleaner, it's going to create a response. It's going to show that I was copying evil Genx. But the point is that it is a best practice depending on what you're doing. When you're using Wireshark, you have to like adapt it to your specific environment, to your specific scenario. And it may be more useful to you to create capture filters if you are using Wireshark, if you're tapping into the backbone of your company. I mean, like, you have to filter that traffic, right? I mean, unless you have an equipment that is going to be able to get that much information, you have to filter that because you're going to get like gigabytes of traffic. So you could do it, but it's usually better if you capture everything and then you download it and you filter on that. So that's one of the things that you have to keep in mind. Make sure that you do get better or understand the display filters. And if you don't know what the syntax is for a specific display filter, just Google it, or chat GPT it. Like just go out there, this how do I do this, and then you get that information, because that's going to help you a lot. Now let's move to number 3, and that is looking at the statistics aspect, or menu, I should say, of Wireshark. And once you come here, you're going to have a lot of useful information, right? You could go to conversations, and you can see the conversations that took place during that capture that you just that information that you just captured. It's going to show you information about the host. It's going to show you the MAC address, or you can look into, instead of looking at the Ethernet communication, you could look at the IP communication. IPv4, you have the option of IPv6, and you can also see the TCP communication. So this is useful because it's going to give you visibility into how protocols are being used in your network and what's taking place. You can also see more things. You can look into the endpoints, and it's going to show you all the endpoints that participated or that were captured for that capture that took place. And you're going to see the communication here. Why is this information useful, or this menu useful? Well, sometimes you have to do threat hunting, right? You have to go out there, because the attackers are not going to tell you what they're doing, what type of traffic they're using, or what's taking place. So you have to look into the information that is relevant for you, and you go into the different menus, and you need to use the proper tool for that. Resolve addresses. You could see this, what's taking place. Now, obviously, this is simple for me to do in this test environment, because I only have a handful of computers. My whole network, including, like IoT devices, are like 20 devices in my network. But if you are working on an organization with hundreds of, maybe thousands of devices, this is going to look a lot different. But that's where um, display filters are going to come into place, and you can drill down into specifically what you are looking for. Now let's move to number 4, and those are the coloring rules. As you can see here, when you are looking at Wireshark, some packets have different colors, right? You have black, purple, yellow, so on and so forth. And you may be asking yourself why some of them are um like with different colors. Well, that is based on the default coloring rules that Wireshark has, but you can modify them, and even you can create your own. For that, you would go to the view option, the view menu, and somewhere in here you have coloring rules. And as you could see, you are going to have the description of what each coloring rule is, and the corresponding color for bad TCP. Spanning tree change, you're going to have something similar to black. Then you have red, then you have the different colors. So you can create your own, you can modify them. This is useful when you are looking for specific things in a large um, uh, packet, in a large file that you downloaded. You can create those specific rules, and it's going to be easier for you to see a visual help when you are scrolling through the packets. And this is gonna take us to the last, at least the last that I want to mention today in this video, and that is carving out files from the captures. You can go to files, you can go to export objects, and from here you can export the objects depending on the protocol that you're looking for. In my case, for this video, I'm going to use SMB, because I was transferring files over SMB, but you know that you have option for other protocols too. This is super useful because this is going to put everything together. As you can see here, when I clicked on this option for vulnerability.txt, it's going to highlight all the packets where that information or that object took place. So this is useful information. This is useful things that it's going to give you visibility into what took place. And by visibility into what took place, is that literally you're going to be able to get a copy of that object that was transmitted and captured. Obviously, in this case, if the object was encrypted, there's nothing you can do. It's going to be encrypted information. But in this case, it's just an SMB file that I downloaded, and you're going to have the option to download that too. Uh, and by downloading here, I'm talking about you're going to have the option of saving it from the capture. So you're going to be able to extract what took place, right? So that's another way of putting that. So right in here, let's go to this, there, and I'm going to save it in here. And then I'm going to go to that. Let me come here for 1 second. And I'm going to display that information. And as you could see, it's a copy of Evil GeneX, right? So you're going to have the option of doing that, or you're going to have the option of opening the other files that you know that you downloaded. So those are 5 useful features that I see in Wireshark that are relevant to cybersecurity. And as I mentioned before, those are 5 of the maybe hundreds of, who knows, even thousands of features that you can use. The point here is to utilize the features that you need. You don't need to know them all. You need to know what you need to know to do the job. So if you found this information useful, all I ask you to do is to click on the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and I will talk to you on the next video.